Okay, so today's video is going to be, just like the title says, a new moon reading with the angel cards. And we're going to talk a little bit about essential oils and what essential oils we can use at this time for the new moon, which is in Taurus. It actually starts in Aries and then transitions into Taurus, so it's interesting energy, especially since it's also Mercury retrograde, right at the tail end of Mercury retrograde. Let me grab my paper really quick. Hold on. So my little monsters are home today because, well, I homeschool my oldest one. But anyways, so they might run in and out too. Anyways, okay, so it's telling me it's still spreading the word out there. So we'll hang out a minute and see who comes in and joins. So, I'll talk a little bit about the new moon in, pretty much, it's in Taurus, but it starts, like I said, in Aries. So, they go mainly by the new moon in Taurus, energy, things like that, and it talks about, with the new moon in Taurus, it's really about committing to personal goals. So, I'm sorry the camera's all shaky. Anyways, committing to personal goals and enjoying the simple pleasures. So, Taurus is really good for staying energy. It's really good for Aries is really good to start things off. It gives a lot of fire energy to pop things and get them moving. But Taurus is really in it for the long haul. And so today, or this new moon cycle. Thank you, honey. Awesome. High five. Go watch your show. It's really a good time to start planning your personal goals and reevaluating your priorities and beliefs and consider what truly makes you happy and fulfilled. It's a really good time for those kind of goal settings and stuff like that. So it's also a good time to reflect on the things that you're grateful for and really take time to appreciate those. There's a lot of good energy for that. It's a good time to quiet down, to enjoy simple pleasures like foods, friends, family, quiet time like that. So with that in mind, it's also a really good time to map out your plan for the changes that you want to make in your life, the goals that you have, and the sort of lifestyle changes that you want. It's really a good time for that. Hold on. My kids are going to make this impossible. I can tell already. Anyways, so the deck that I was planning on using for the card reading is the Archangel Oracle cards. And we're just going to pull a couple cards to see what's going on with the new moon energy for us right now. And what kind of thing. Go get him.
I can't play him. He's so mad.
I'm so glad that this happened today. And you're home with me to share this wonderful time, son. Stop. Why are you driving me nuts? I told you, go sit down and watch your show. You're fine. You're fine. You want to say hi to all our friends?
Hi to the friends.
You gotta come over here on the camera.
Camera?
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay. Did she say?
Come here. Look. Say hi. Look at the camera.
Hi.
there's a monkey. All right, go. Here, take your cheese and go. Go on. Okay, so let's get down to it. I'm just going to pull a couple cards because it could get all elaborate. All right. So I just sort of look at the cards that pop up as they come, as I'm asking for new moon energy and that kind of stuff. And the ones that catch my attention, I've learned, are the ones that are oh, good. So the first card that came up is gentleness, which is actually, I think, the last one of the videos that I put up on my Facebook page was about gentleness. And this card says, be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. So it kind of goes back to that energy of enjoying simple pleasures and simple things, right? The next card that came up is victory. So this card says, your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. That's always fun. And the last card here that came up was spiritual understanding. And it says, I bring you esoteric information, symbols, and helping you understand spiritual truth. So for this, this reading, I feel like a lot of the energy of Mercury retrograde and the things that it brought up for people and the blocks that they had to face, the shadows that they had to face and things like that, it was really intense for me this cycle. And I know a lot of other people were asking about it or talking about it and how intense it was, because it's not just Mercury retrograde. We have a couple other planets in retrograde. I know Jupiter's in retrograde, Pluto just went in retrograde, and Saturn is retrograde. Venus went at the beginning of this last month, so it's not currently retrograde right now. But and it was really important to be gentle with yourself. I have blog posts all about this because I actually just blogged the entire messy process and just things I was going through. And so one of the things that I really had to give up and learn how to walk through basically was the gentleness thing. Like how do I maintain without letting all of the momentum and energy and things that I have planned go, because that's what happens to me every year. How do I let go and allow for the energy to happen and just be okay without giving all that up? And if I'm not going to allow it, if I'm going to push it through to make sure that I get that energy going, how am I going to, I just knew that wasn't working. Like that wasn't going to happen.
No.
Okay, Macy. Thank you.
You're welcome. Just poop some.
Okay, honey. I'll be right there. Go on. I love you. So that was what I was pretty much blogging about and talking about. But the gentleness factor was really in there. Like I had to really reflect on what was happening. And for this time period, for the new moon, I feel like it's sort of coming, that energy is kind of coming to an end. It's sort of backing off, and we're coming to the tail end of the retrograde. And it's really, it seems like a lot of people have worked through the issues that they face with Mercury retrograde this time. I know I did, because the energy is lifted already, even though it's not the end of it. And it shows here for all of us that victory, your prayers have been answered, that you've made it through, the energy and all that stuff, and that you've come to deeper spiritual understandings. And so for this new moon period, I think those understandings, those times, that information that you've integrated, those blocks that you've cleared, has led you to now to a higher spiritual understanding and spiritual state. And we can really take the opportunity to be grateful for that at this time. I know the energy is still chaotic. I know it's still, because it's the tail end and stuff, people are still feeling a lot of their, the effects of the retrograde, and Some of the energy, it's kind of a day-to-day thing that I've noticed. It's like some of the energy is really good, and then sometimes the energy can be a little bit heavier. Today, for here, I feel really good, but the energy around is a little bit heavier. It's darker and cloudier outside and stuff like that, and it just kind of feels off. But I have a few suggestions I was going to talk to you guys about the essential oils to use during this time. And I have different, everybody's on a different path. Everybody's on a different state in their energy right now. And so the first thing that I think everybody can benefit from is some grounding kind of energies. And so the essential oils that I brought out that really help for grounding and can bring our energy down, one of them, I use Young Living oils, and one of the brands or one of the blends that we have is actual grounding, but I'm out of that right now, and it sucks because that one's one of my favorites. But also purification. The camera's backwards, so it's funky. Purification is a good one for grounding. Valor is a really good one for grounding. This one just came back in stock, but they also have Valor too. And this one's also a really good one to connect with Archangel Michael energies. And patchouli, for those of you who have a different... yeah, Mason. Okay, Mason, I'll be right there. Macy, I'll be right there. Thank you. Go find them. Patchouli, for those of you who don't have, aren't with Young Living or with a different brand or something like that, the patchouli is really good for grounding energy as well. These oils do have a vibrational frequency, and they've been measured, and so I was going to talk a little bit about that right now. Both Valor and Purification, I didn't have one on the patchouli, but both Valor and Purification Valor vibrates at 47 megahertz, and Purification vibrates at 46 megahertz. And so the regular healthy human body vibrates at between 64 and 68 megahertz. And so these ones you can tell are lower on their frequency. So when we're too scattered, our energy is too scattered, it's not always best to be really high energy, if that makes sense. It's not like if you can get over 68 megahertz, right? Our healthy human body is within that range. So if we are over that and our energy is too scattered and too out, it helps to have a lower vibrating essential oil, in this case, to entrain your body with that and bring it down, bring the vibration down and ground your energy, and it'll ground it back to that 64 to 68 range for healthy vibration for a healthy body. So those are the ones for grounding that I recommend, and I kind of recommend those to everybody because right now the energy is chaotic, and so everybody can use some grounding. Hi Heidi, I'm loving it. Oh, thank you, loving it too. So the other thing that I thought, I could really use of, and I thought a lot of people during this time, especially with the goal setting and the Taurus energy, is some clarity to get really focused on our goals. And the Mercury retrograde brought up a lot of shadows, so it brought up a lot of showing us where we really truly want to be and where we are, right? So the first oil that I recommend for that was Clarity from this one's a Young Living brand, like I said. But then I also recommend frankincense if you're not with Young Living or you don't have a company. If you have just regular oils. Hi. Anyways, Clarity has a vibrational frequency of 101 megahertz. Frankincense is one of the highest with 147 megahertz. So this one really helps you to perceive and focus your mind into higher, to get out of that sort of mundane, what's happening in front of you, and you can get kind of bogged down with that, and really perceive out what it is that you want, right? Tap into those higher dimensions, those sort of futuristic kind of energy and really get clear on the path to take to reach your goals and get there. And with the new moon, of course, that's always a great time for setting goals and for new energy and new projects you want to set. And right now, we're going out of the tail end of the Mercury retrograde like we were talking about. And so that energy is passing. It's just a really great time to get super clear on your goals and move forward with them, because we've been in a pause, right? We've been being real gentle with ourselves. We've been really focusing within. We've been just taking time to clear blocks and focus on ourselves, not so much smashing goals and like achieving great things right now, just because that's the way the energy is. But we're getting that out and getting ready to get in with the new energy. Oh, also, I can't remember where I was putting this one, but this one is a great oil for anybody to use. It's called Release. I don't know if you can see it. So this is a Young Living blend called Release, and I love this one, and I recommend it usually on most times we're going into a retrograde. Most times we're shifting energies, because whenever you're doing that, blocks are going to be, you're going to see shadow aspects, you're going to see blocks that are happening, that are coming up for you, that are keeping you from manifesting the things that you want to. And so Release is just a really good oil to have on hand for that. And so Release actually vibrates at a frequency of 102 as well. And so I love the essential oils because what they do is your sense of smell goes directly into your limbic system, which is your emotional body. It's the only scent, right, from your vision and your taste and your hearing and your smelling and touch that goes directly into your limbic system and doesn't get rerouted in your brain. And the other ones go through different areas of your brain before they get to the limbic system and the amygdala. And so that's why when you smell stuff, it brings back memories so strong. Well, what also happens with that is, let's say you're using an oil like Release, and you're wanting to release these blocks that are holding you back. You're wanting to release whatever traumatic event or belief system or belief that you've created in your life somewhere along your path, and it's now a subconscious belief that's in there. We may know what it is, we may not know what it is, but those beliefs and stuff actually have a dominant frequency as well. Well, any beliefs, and usually the lower ones, the blocks like that, are real low on their frequency and stuff. That's what holds us down. Any of them that don't match with the general vibrational frequency of the oils, like this one's at 102, they don't match, so they end up dissipating, or they end up being released. That's why it's called Release. So anyways, that's always a good one to have, and that works with any essential oils. So that's why I work with essential oils so much, is because they really help to clear out the emotional body and the energetic body and heal us from the inside out in that way, like our thoughts, our beliefs, our patterns, our habits, things like that. So they're really helpful for that. So the last one that I have is like just back to that gentle energy. A lot of us are still stuck in the Mercury retrograde energy, and we're still working through our blocks, and we're still working through our shadow aspects. And for some of us, it goes all the way through to the very end of Mercury retrograde, which, by the way, is May 3rd. So I pulled out an oldie but a goodie, right? Like everybody, at any time, lavender is always a good oil to go to for whatever. This one is really helpful just to allow us to relax and take pressure off and not think that we have to do everything right away. Releasing anxieties, releasing tension, and all the pressures that Mercury retrograde can bring us, all of this sort of stress. Speaking of stress, the very last one here, oh, and lavender vibrates at 118 megahertz for its vibrational frequency. So it's another one that that helps us to, as we're calming down, it's not so much a grounding energy to ground our energy out, but it helps us to release and let go of a lot of anxieties and the stress that we're carrying. Sort of conscious stress. That's the difference that I look at between like lavender and Release, is that Release really helps us to let go of our subconscious beliefs and our subconscious stresses, the things that are causing us to face these shadow aspects, especially in the retrograde periods. I call those shadow lands because that's what happens. Anyways, lavender is really good to help us release the stress and anxiety of our daily life, the things that are going on that you know are causing you stress and things like that. It's really good, like, at the end of the day. I tell all empaths at any time that I come across them or we're in this conversation, that if you don't have like a really good high quality lavender, and this one is faked a lot, so make sure you get a good quality one. And using that to help unwind at the end of the day and stuff, that's really helpful for empaths, for emotionally, because we usually are aware of these sort of emotional stresses that come on to us from dealing with other people and stuff. So the very last one, and I don't have a frequency for this one because it wasn't measured, is Stress Away. And this one's a Young Living brand, but this one paired, actually these three, lavender, release, and Stress Away. If you did a daily, or not necessarily daily, but if you did a healing with those where you had somebody dropping those along your spine, one right after the other, it really helps. This set right here helped my husband to get really good sleep, and he suffers from PTSD and didn't want to get on the medication, and so for those kinds of things. And so he also doesn't really believe in the things that I do, like the cards and the crystals and stuff like that. He's like, whatever, babe, you do what you want. But the oils he actually did came back and was like, yeah, they work and they're amazing. And so again, I'm going to try to hold these things up. The lavender release and Stress Away is a really good nighttime ritual, either in your diffuser or on your spine, along your spine, to help you get really good sleep. Be really gentle with yourself that way and really release that energy and strengthen self-care, get really nourishing deep sleep. So I also noticed in the cards, while I was rambling on here, that two of these cards here are Archangel Sandalphon. So he's a good, these ones, Gentleness and Victory. He's a good angel to work with if you're working with angels right now, especially at this time, to work with on the new moon tonight if you're doing any kind of work for that. Especially goal setting work, things like that, if you're working with any of these energies. It's really awesome to, he would be the one that's right now one of the dominant angels to work with right now. So anyways, there was your essential oils and your reading for this new moon and Mercury retrograde energy. And so if you enjoyed this, please share it out with to your friends, people who you think that will be interested in it. It will be able to be replayed anytime on my Facebook page. Come over to the Earth Angel Living Facebook page, like our page. We also have a group if you're interested more in essential oils and you want to get involved in it. I have my Earth Angels Aromatherapy Young Living group, and I'll put a link to that in the description if anybody wants to join the group and learn more about essential oils and things like that. It's not super active right now, but if anybody is interested in it, feel free to jump over there and ask questions on the Facebook page, anything like that. So I'm Berlin from Earth Angel Living, and thank you for joining me for this. This was a lot of fun. I'll see you later, guys. Bye.